Hi, this is Keith from Save the Rust. Today we're going to show you an extremely rare 1940s hydraulic front end for Harleys and Indians developed by someone in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, Ben Benson. Ben Benson's very unknown. He's almost in no history books. Only a select few people have even seen a front end, own a front end, or even heard about him. Today I'm going to show you one of his front ends, some of his parts, some of his paperwork. So here we have one of Ben Benson's front ends. This front end is actually quite a bit heavier than a stock Harley front end. Everything's just a lot beefier. You can see just how thick everything is. It's quite interesting. This came out of Winnipeg in the late 90s at a swap meet and went through a few hands, and then I ended up with it. What's really neat is Ben Benson made them for Harleys and Indians, and there were just a couple of different accommodations to fit on one or the other. So what we're going to look at first is the front end itself. It's, if you look, it's very thick. Like this is about an inch, maybe a bit more. The stops are really heavy made. And what differs from Ben's design to a Harley or Indian was he made it so that you could take your stock bars and just slide them right over top of here, which I'll show you in a second. But one of the cool parts is, take a look at this. So he has the stamp. It's the patent pending or patent hydraulic front end. And I'll show you a bit more of this in a second. A little bit more clearer ones. It's pretty cool. So there is, because there's so little known about Ben Benson, some of this paperwork that I've got, and I'll show you, is all copies. But it was somehow gotten back in the 80s, mid-90s, from a local collector who got them off of another collector's daughter. And I'm still trying to get the originals just to save them. But what we'll do is we'll start here and look at the dates. Patented July 12th, 1949. Fork for motorcycle, Ben Benson, Winnipeg, Manitoba. January 1948. So, if you know your history, you know that Harley came out with the hydraulic front end in 1949, and Indian came out in 1950. There's a rumor that's always been around this Ben Benson and his front ends was that Harley seen one and copied it and used it for, kind of copied the design to use on their bikes. Now, it's not proven. All we know is that in the 50s, we think we know, but there's rumors that they went to court and Ben Benson didn't have to work too hard after that. Now, we've never seen documentation. It's just hearsay. But if anyone has any of this, copies or anything, I'd love to see it. I mean, all we want to do is document that there's a guy in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, who developed a front end in 48 prior to Harley and Indian, and that no one knows about. So here's what some cool parts. So this would have been for an Indian. The backing plates were different, and this is really neat. Manufactured by Ben Benson, patent pending, serial number 492, Motorcycle Machine Shop, Winnipeg, Canada. The mark of dependability. Very cool. So this is, I don't even know how many of these are actually out there. I know of one bike in Japan that has one of these plates. Here's an even rarer plate that has the colors. It's a brass plate with some inlay in it. Beautiful piece. It hasn't even been drilled completely. So Some of the stuff I got, I had responded to, you know, we call it Kijiji here in Canada, but it's like a Craigslist type of site that you can buy stuff. And there was a guy who was advertising Ben Benson stuff, and I got a lighter. So Ben Benson's lighter, I can't remember which one it was now. These plates and his actual stamp. And this was, the story goes that this was taken off of John Hall Indian's desk in 1968. John Hall was another famous guy in Winnipeg who was a Indian dealer and a rebuilder, restorer. And this fellow that I got all this stuff off of got it from his father, and he went there in 1968. And this stuff sat basically in a box for, 50 years. These are plates that would have went onto the forks. These are, unused Newell stock, and it would have had your serial number on here. Really rare. So Ben also made pistons. So here's the only piston that I am aware of. You can see this is a 60 thou over Ben Benson piston. He's got his initials stamped in there. And this is for an Austin and 60 thou over, made in Canada. Very cool. He also made valves. I know of one, and I'm trying to attain it, but I don't know of any others. Anyone has any, I will be happy to purchase them. I would love to add to this collection of unknown motorcycle history. So some of the stuff I have here is the copy of the application for Ben Benson, trademark papers. Here's cool is June 1st, 1945 from Harley Davidson to Ben Benson. He's trying to get a dealership. There's a couple papers from Harley. You can see I have more. He wants to get a dealer in Winnipeg, but at the time, Ben Benson was actually working at Northwest Cycle. Northwest Cycle was a very famous dealer in Winnipeg, and if it was still in business, I think it would have been the second oldest dealership, Harley dealership in the world. They closed in the mid 80s. They lost their franchise sometime in that early 80s. Really rare. Just a cool history. So I also have copies from Indian Motorcycle Company, November 7th, 1946. He's also looking for an Indian dealer franchise. He's asking for that. And I have from BSA, January 17th, 1945. Again, looking for a dealership. Some more of his paperwork. 1958 is the latest. Just, really cool history. So a couple of years ago, I helped out with an article. If you've ever seen it, this is Roller Magazine. It's from Japan. This is a bike that's owned by Sushi, the freewheeler from Freewheelers. You can see he's got one of those tags and the same plate on this really rare knucklehead that came from, I believe, North Dakota. There I am. They acknowledged me. They were very nice to work with. It was just nice to see that the history was starting to be told about Ben Benson front ends. If you get a chance, get a copy. I believe this was the last one that was only in Japanese. I think the next issue actually came out, or you can get it in English also. So this is what we do here. We try and save a lot of local history and, kind of educate people on stuff that they probably never heard of. The market dependability, Ben Benson. So you can see here how a stock set of inline Harley handlebars. These were off an old racer, so they're beat, really beat. Just goes straight on. This front end, I don't know if it's ever been used. There's still lots of paint here. I don't want to put it all the way down because of I don't want to lose that paint. But let me know what you think. I'd love to hear the comments, and I hope you guys learned something today, something that you may never have heard of. So that's what we do here at Save the Rust. Like and subscribe, and stay tuned. We'll have more stuff that hopefully you'll enjoy. Take care.